Right, on the canvas you can see a copy of the sword that was brought in from Google Warehouse. What I tend to do first is clean it all up before I start working on it. And what we need to do here is get rid of the materials that is already attached. And if you look here, there are a few here. And for those who are new to Blender, the way to get rid of them is click on the materials tab, and then you get this list shows here, and it's just a case of pressing the minus to get rid of all the colours. There's none in that side. Now what we need to do now is need to combine these two skip meshes into one, and the way we carry this out is left click on the triangle, make sure it's got the gold circle around it, hold the shift key and then left click on the other one, and in true Blender fashion it's unclick the other one, so you click that one as well. So now we've got the two of them highlighted. Bring the pointer back onto the canvas and then Control J to unite them. From here I want to clean up all my loose vertices, and it's going to be interesting to show you now how many are not being used on this particular sword. So we'll press the tab key, highlight the sword, and now if we come over onto the transform, into the mesh tools, slide down, we'll see here remove doubles. Now if we come up to here, just take a note of how many doubles are removed. So that's 30,130. It's unbelievable. Now what we need to do is convert some of them into, get rid of the tries into quads. You will get rid of a few but not a lot of them. And how we carry this out is Control F, come down and look for tries to quads, and it's got rid of a few. So let's tab out of it, and that's what we've got left. So from here what we need to do now is break the sword down into usable parts that we can color code. In this case, if you look on the right hand side, I've done 6 pieces. I tend to try and stick with the 7 that's used in iClone. What we need to do from here now is to color code them. We've broke them down into parts, as you can see here on the right hand side. So blade, base, fleur de lis, guard, handle, handle ends and handle. I've cleaned them up as best as I can, as I think that needs doing. So if we go to the handle guard, zoom in, tab on it, you can see I've done a bit of cleaning up. Not a lot, but it does make it nice, a bit more presentable. On this case here, you can see I've done it there, the guard, and the rest of them. What we need to do here now is color code them and then combine them. So we're not getting mixed up, I'm going to not delete it, but dismantle it. Right, let's color code it. Let's start with a blade. So if we come down here onto the Colors Materials tab, we can see that what we've got here. Now come down onto the new, press on the new, and what we need to do here now is give it a black. Press on the white, and what you see is this chart here. Now they tend to use a different numbering method for the RGB, the ones and the zeros. So what I've put together here, and I'll put it as an attachment with the tutorial on YouTube, is a materials list for RGB codes for Blender. And you can see the first one is black is 00, and it's just a straightforward coming onto the tab here and taking everything down to -0. Blade base, same again, click on there. If you can't see it, come onto the right and just slide it back up. click onto here. Now we're going to put this as a red. Click on here, that goes to 1, and all the rest comes down to 0 to get our red. The fleur-de-lis, same again. I'm going to see my colour chart, so it's 0, 1, 0. Coming down here, 0, 1, 0. The guard, same as next one, and that's a blue, 0, 0, 1. Come on to here, 0, 0, 1. Oops, let's go back on that one. Take that to 1. The hand lens, cyan, 0, 1, 1. 0, 0, 1. Wrong. See my memory. 0, 1, 1. 0, 1, 1. That's cyan. Now we come on to the handle, and that last colour will be yellow. And have I missed a colour here? The handle. One, 1, 0. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's just check again, see what colours we got. We got black, red, green, blue, cyan, and yellow. That's right. Now, once we've got all these, we need to combine them into one unit. So we can, when we take it into the UV panel, it's there to start working with. So what we have to do now is just combine them all. So if you left click on the first triangle with the shift key held down, you get the yellow circle. Left click the next one, the next one, the next one, and all the way up to the top. Now control J. We'll rename this now just to sword, because we won't be needing the other layers again. I tend to also colour this one. Rename that one, I mean. Press the enter key. I'm going to delete this other sword that we used earlier. So get rid of it from there. So now we just got that sword. From here now we need to go down into the UV panel. However, before we do move off this panel, we need to come up to Blender and make sure it's on Blender Render. Not Blender Cycles or anything, just Blender Render. Come up here, click on the 2 arrows and come down to UV Editing. Now I'm going to change that back first. So if you press the period key on your numpad, it will center the sword on the stage for you here. So what we need to do here now is tab and then press the A key twice to highlight everything. And if you look on the side, the left hand side in the UV panel, everything's all over the place. So if you press the U key, and I first reset everything on the panel, and then press the U key again, but this time we don't use the unwrap, we use the Smart UV project. Click on that and press OK. Give it a few seconds to work it out. and in here we've got it all down to. Now if you press the A key to select everything, now if we Control A and then Control P, it just straightens things out on the stage for us. It's still doing it now at the moment, because you can see in the bottom right hand corner there's a bit of a stray there. So now we've got everything nicely within the grid panel. Come down to here and we need to create a new colour for it, a code for it. So we'll just call it sword. Press OK. Zoom back in a bit. Now make sure everything's highlighted on that panel, and everything's highlighted in this panel. Then we come down to here where this cube is, and on the two arrows click on there and come up into properties, and all we need to use here is the bake. Now if you'd have been in Blender, let me put this onto cycle renders, and we come down to the bake panel, it doesn't give you what we need, i.e. in regard of textures. That's why I say you have to make sure this is in Blender render, and then you can see when you come down you've got textures, making sure it's highlighted, and now we just bake the colours onto it. And on the left you can see that it's worked, it's highlighted everything. From here come down to the bottom and you see where it says image, and it's got a little star next to it. That's telling us we've got to save it first. Click on the image, save image as, and this is where we come into using our folders that we created earlier in our projects. Come down to images, ID maps, sword. I'd already made one earlier, but I'm just going to overwrite that. Save as image. Come back out of here now into the default panel, deselect it all, and we're back onto the normal screen. Now before we take it across to as an FBX, we need to get rid of all the colours that are attached, the material colours that are attached to this sword. And it's basically come over here, minus, 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 and we've got rid of all the colouring. Come across into File, down to Export, FBX, and you just need to make sure that's the main highlighted, and come down here and just click on the mesh. That's the only two things that need to be highlighted in this setup. Come up here, let's go into our FBX folder. You can see I've already done one. I'm going to overwrite it, export, and that is that stage finish. The next stage is taking it over into Substance Painter, and then we start color coding it. That's the next video.